Florida building codes that affect rental properties. Florida's building codes shape far more than construction timelines and inspection checklists. For rental property owners, these regulations directly influence habitability, liability, operating costs, and long-term asset value. As Florida continues to experience population growth, aging housing stock, and increasingly severe weather, building code compliance has become a central issue for landlords, investors, and property managers alike. Understanding how these codes apply to rental properties is no longer optional. It is a core part of responsible ownership. Why building codes matter more for rentals. Unlike owner-occupied homes, rental properties are subject to heightened scrutiny. Local governments enforce building codes to protect tenant safety, and violations can quickly escalate into fines, forced repairs, or legal disputes. In competitive markets like Pinellas County, where many rentals are older homes or converted properties, code compliance often determines whether a unit remains rentable. Building codes also intersect with habitability laws. A code violation can undermine a landlord's legal position if a tenant raises safety concerns or withholds rent. The Florida Building Code explained. The Florida Building Code establishes statewide standards for construction, structural integrity, electrical systems, plumbing, mechanical systems, and fire safety. It is updated regularly to reflect changes in materials, technology, and environmental risks. While new construction must meet current code standards, existing rental properties are not exempt. When repairs, renovations, or system replacements occur, owners are often required to bring affected components up to current code, even if the structure was built decades ago. Structural and safety requirements. Structural stability is a foundational concern of the Florida Building Code. Rental properties must maintain sound foundations, walls, roofs, and load-bearing components. Deterioration that compromises safety can trigger enforcement actions, particularly after storms or inspections. In Pinellas County, roof integrity is a frequent issue due to age and weather exposure. Landlords who delay roof repairs risk not only code violations, but also insurance complications that can affect rental viability. Electrical and plumbing standards. Electrical systems in rental properties must be safe, functional, and properly grounded. Outdated wiring, overloaded panels, or unpermitted modifications often surface during inspections or after tenant complaints. Plumbing codes address water supply, drainage, and sanitation. Persistent leaks, improper connections, or failing sewer lines can result in code violations that impact habitability. In older Florida rentals, plumbing upgrades are among the most common compliance challenges. Mechanical systems and climate control. Florida's climate places added emphasis on mechanical systems, particularly heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. While Florida law does not universally require air conditioning, many local codes and lease agreements effectively make climate control a standard expectation. Mechanical systems must be installed and maintained according to code. Improper ventilation or malfunctioning systems can create indoor air quality issues, which are increasingly cited in tenant complaints and inspections. Fire safety and egress rules. Fire safety provisions are among the most strictly enforced building code elements. Rental properties must have proper smoke alarms, safe exits, and clear egress pathways. Multi-unit properties face additional requirements, including fire separation standards and emergency lighting in some cases. Failure to meet fire safety codes carries significant risk. Beyond fines, noncompliance can expose landlords to serious liability if an incident occurs. Local enforcement in Pinellas County. While the Florida Building Code sets statewide standards, enforcement is handled at the local level. Pinellas County and its municipalities conduct inspections, respond to complaints, and issue notices of violation. In recent years, local enforcement has increased its focus on older rental housing, particularly in areas experiencing redevelopment pressure. Landlords who proactively maintain compliance are better positioned to avoid disruptions and protect rental income. How building codes affect property value and marketability. Code compliance is not only a legal issue, it directly affects property value and tenant demand. Renters increasingly expect safe, updated systems, and properties with unresolved code issues often face longer vacancy periods. For investors considering acquisitions in Pinellas County, understanding code exposure is critical. Deferred maintenance and outdated systems can significantly increase post-purchase costs. A practical takeaway for landlords. Florida building codes are not static rules tucked away in regulatory manuals. They are living standards that shape how rental properties operate, perform, and compete in the market. Landlords who treat code compliance as a proactive strategy rather than a reactive obligation tend to experience fewer disputes, stronger tenant retention, and more predictable operating costs.